And welcome in, welcome in. It is Wake Up 502 After Dark. This is your boy Raashaan Myers, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. I am the host of Wake Up 502, joined by my esteemed colleague, Haven Harrington. Haven, happy Thursday night. It's the first night of the new, I guess, sports week. Even though now apparently we have football every day for the next 48 days in a row. So I guess every night's technically a sports night.
Hey, there you
But how,
go, baby.
how are you doing, man?
Man, hey, it's football night. It's Thursday night football.
Absolutely. And hey, the Giants are bringing some pain tonight, leading the Eagles at the half. Wow, that's wild.
Even though I am mad at NFL for taking college football as Thursday night, because it was college football that got Thursday night popping, and it used to be like big games on Thursday, Miami, West Virginia, Louisville, West Virginia. You know, had these big rivalries, these big games on Thursday night football, and now college is like, man, we can't compete in the NFL. Just throw whatever up there we can find.
Yeah, they just punted on the weeknight games for the most part. They don't put any big games on the weeknight anymore. I think
No.
that Colorado Georgia Tech game was probably the biggest game that they've had on a weeknight, and that was opening weekend of the season,
And
man.
that was before the NFL kicked off.
That's fair, and that's fair. Yeah, like to me, fine if they like they should at least have like a Friday night game. You know what I mean? Like a big game on a Friday night. If they're not going to do Thursday night anymore, at least have one big game. But we're stuck watching like Kennesaw State and Liberty. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But Haven Harrington, man, we are now, what, 5 days removed, maybe 6 days removed from the festivities of last Saturday. We are here to discuss, not only the Louisville UVA game, we're going to go over that. I want to get all your thoughts on that. And everything that went on. You, unfortunately, were not in the building with me going through all my frustrations. I was sitting there with a couple of UVA staffers the whole time with them looking at me, and I probably looked like the most miserable human on earth as I watched the game. So you weren't there to share the pain with me, but I'm very excited because we haven't really got the opportunity to talk. So this will be good for you. And we're going to get into everything. We're going to get into the thoughts on the game, what we liked, which probably isn't much, what we disliked,
Which is a
um,
lot.
and yeah, and just kind of where Louisville goes from there. Of course, they have a bye week coming up. They do not play this Saturday as they gear up for next Friday's showdown with Miami and Coral Gables. For all the marbles. Yeah, I know that you're beloved you, and it looks like a freaking buzzsaw right now. But we'll get into what's looking forward. But first, we need to look at what went
What
back. Of
happened?
course,
The
Roman
week that
King,
was.
the week that was the post game reactions. It's been very interesting and illuminating to see. This has been the first loss always comes with a ton of reaction and overreaction and thoughts and introspection. It's always that way, right? Because you until you lose a game, you don't necessarily sense your mortality. The best way that I can say it is now that Louisville's not perfect anymore. Now everybody starts to do some soul searching. So Haven, just kind of, I know you were out and about. I'm not sure if you got to watch the game live. I don't believe you did, you got to
Yeah,
watch it live, but
I didn't watch it live, but I followed the game. I watched like parts of it live, but I did rewatch the game. And
yeah,
this was actually a game I thought Louisville may lose, kind of going into it. And they lost exactly how I thought they were going to lose, which is turnovers and sloppy play.
yeah,
Because that I mean, you're 5 games in the immortal words of Dennis Green, you are who we thought we are. And Louisville is who we is 5 games in that they have proven to be a sloppy team, especially on offense, a turnover prone, sloppy team on offense that has spurts of playing great football, but will have these points in the game where they just do these mind numbing things where they turn the ball over, they get penalties after penalty, shoot themselves in the foot, and then try to dig themselves out of a hole. And this is kind of what they've done all year. I think Miller Moss has thrown a pick six in 3 out of 5 games.
Yeah,
He has more interceptions now than Tyler Shuck did all of last season. Uh, he's had three multiple pick games. It's just, you just can't keep turning the ball over and winning. Now, against your Pittsburghs, your Bowling Greens, your East Kentuckies, yes, you can turn the ball over and you still have enough talent just to win, right?
right.
Um, but on teams like Virginia that play pretty much, when they played you, pretty much mistake free football, you can't spot them 17 points and then expect to win. They came close. They went to overtime. So, they did manage to get the game to overtime, which just tells you how much talent this team really has when they want to do it. It's just that they just keep shooting themselves in the foot, and you have to, man. You just we've said this since the very first game of the season. It's you got to cut down on the mistakes. You got to cut down the turnovers because it's going to cost you, and it cost them.
And it's interesting for me. The thing that I think about, and kind of the thing that really stands out to me is that for me, Haven, we're starting. This is the third year of Jeff Brom. Okay, and Jeff Brom is a great dude. He's a great coach. He's been a great ambassador for the University of Louisville. But everybody, before a guy gets there, all you see is the possibilities and the positive of that guy and of that coach because great coach, great history, but because you're not in the trenches with him every day at his previous stops, you don't necessarily see, all you see is his positives and you don't see any of the deficiencies, issues, or things that the warts, that he has. And for me, this being year three, it's starting to become apparent where his issues and where his deficiencies as a coach lie. And I think that to me is just interesting because they always say never meet your heroes.
Yes.
They have that saying, and I don't want to say that there's any like buyer's remorse or any issues with Jeff being here because I love Coach Brown. He's a great dude. He is a great coach, and I would not rather have anybody else rather than him, unless Nick Saban was willing to come and coach the University of Louisville. I love my coach, so I'm good with who I have. But it is interesting that the one reaction that I've started to sense from Card Nation is more of it's been more for the first time since Coach Brown got the job. People are starting to look at him as a coach and saying, okay, now we understand who this dude is for good and for bad. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it started the people to have some very interesting questions about that. And I'm starting with talking about Coach Brown rather than talking about the offensive line, rather than talking about Miller Moss, rather than talking about any of the issues that I saw. The reason I'm talking about this is because I'm gonna be honest with you, Haven. I think the biggest reason that Louisville lost this game is on the coaching staff and Coach Brown in particular. I lay this loss at the feet of the coaches, and I'm gonna tell you why. That's my opinion. So when I look at this game and I look at everything that happened in this Louisville game, um, Louisville dominated the football game outside of what, three plays, I'd say. They dominated the game. They dominated Virginia's vaunted offense. Virginia could not move the ball. They scored 10 points in regulation. 10 total. Defense dominated the game. They were locked in. They played excellent. The offense, moved the ball effectively. until those egregious errors that cost Louisville points going the other direction. They moved the ball. Miller Moss looked, solid for the most part, unless he was running for his life and just threw ignorant, ridiculous interceptions. But by and large, to me, there were three coaching decisions in this game that formed to me the biggest issues. And there were some other coaching issues as well, but there are three that stick out in my head, Haven. Three instances. First of which being um, where I think Coach Brom's biggest deficiency lies, and somewhere where he's going to have to get better. And for me, and you can give me your thoughts on this,
Short
Coach Brom,
yardage.
situational football
Oh,
and
yeah. His
end of
his
end of game decision making and end of half decision making. We have seen these errors too many times to be ignored. And it's not been just 1 year, it's not been just 2 years, it's been every year that Coach Brom has been here, and several times where the decision making in specific situations, or when you're coming down the end of games, has been not only not good, it's been horrendous. And the short yardage that you talked about, there were three short yardage plays, which I consider the most important plays of that game. One short yardage situation in the first quarter where Louisville is moving the ball. They get the ball to fourth and about 5 inches. And rather than just, going with the quarterback sneak, which had been exceedingly successful versus Pittsburgh the previous week, Brom opts to try to go to a ooh gotcha pitch play out the side, which, you know, if it gets hit right and Virginia's not ready, hey, could score a touchdown on it. Or Virginia sees it and we get tackled for a 4 or 5 yard loss. And I'm not here to debate the merit, because I've heard some people say, man, the pitch was there, the way it was blocked up, that was going to be a touchdown. I've heard other people say, Devin Neal was right there. There's no way Isaac Brown was going to outrun him. The one thing I do know is that success or failure on that play, that was a humongous gamble that did not need to be made. I would say it was 50-50. I can't tell you if he was going to get the edge or not. Like, I expect that Isaac Brown can make one guy miss, but who's to say, you know, Devin Neal doesn't force Brown to turn it back inside and the other defenders rally and tackle. I don't know. I'm not, but the decision to go when you need 5 inches to go with that pitch is a horrendous decision when you're coming off a week where you had empirical data that said against Pittsburgh's defensive front, which you've got to feel is superior to the UVA defensive front, that you can get a yard or two if you just let Miller Moss and that offensive line push forward. They proved they could do it last week. So that decision, number one, was horrendous. And we saw this same issue come up, two other short yardage situations. At the end of regulation, Louisville is driving with an opportunity to win the game, to either tie or win the game. Louisville gets the ball down to, I believe, the 28-yard line, and it is a 3rd and 2. The situation dictates that in this situation, if you're in 3rd and 2, you're trying to A, get points on the board, but B, you want to make sure that you have the last possession. On a 3rd and 2, Haven Harrington, you're supposed to run that football. You run the football once again because at that point in the game, you had gone with the quarterback sneak on 3 occasions and got 2+ yards every time you snuck the ball in the previous three opportunities during that game, in the Virginia game, after being successful with the quarterback sneak 3 or 4 times against Pittsburgh the week prior. Louisville does not go with the run play because the point is this: if you run the ball on 3rd and short, if you get it, awesome. You got a new set of downs. Clock is running with about a minute 19 seconds left. You can go fast, see if you can get the ball in the end zone, score the touchdown. You don't need overtime. Okay? But also, if you run the ball, the clock stays running. So if you run it, say it gets to 4th and 1, 4th and inches. Now you have a decision to make. Now, do you want to go ahead and go? Do you feel confident enough in your short yardage to go out there and run it again? I would think if you got a yard to a yard and a half on third down, you would be pretty comfortable with that. But it gives you more options. Louisville instead opts to throw some play. I believe it was to Jaleel Skinner down the sideline, a very low percentage opportunity play on that 3rd and 2. Louisville ends up settling for the Ranvier field goal. To Ranvier's credit, he knocks the field goal in. Game is tied. Game goes to overtime. Okay, so we see that situation, and the third situation, and then I'll let you respond to all of this. The third situation in overtime, Louisville gets the ball to, I believe, the was it inside the I want to say it was inside the 5 yard line, 4 yard,
Yes.
6 yard line, something like that. 3rd and 2. Once again, Louisville gets to a 3rd and 2. What did we just say about 3rd and 2? At that point in overtime, you know that points are at a premium, and you want to be able to, if at all possible, because you are the first team with the ball, you want to score 7 so you know you at least won't lose in the first overtime. Louisville gets to a 3rd and 2, opts for once again a very low percentage play, throwing a pass to your running back where he was going to have to make an amazing catch to make it. It looks like he makes the catch. It gets overturned on replay. But once again, because you don't run the ball on 3rd and 2, you don't even have the opportunity to say, is it 4th and inches? Is this something that we can push ahead and get it and get that new set of downs with 3 yard, with only 3 yards to go to the end zone? And these situational positions, Jeff Brom has continually shown that he does not make sound decisions in these positions. And that, for me, Haven, was by far the most disappointing thing about that. I talked about being disappointed in the coach in the James Madison game, in his game plan. This is the second time in 5 games where I am exceedingly disappointed in the leadership of this football team.
I'm going to say this: Jeff Brom is an offensive genius, an offensive mastermind. He's
Yeah,
been here for 3 seasons. And 2 of those 3 seasons, the defense has been the strongest unit on the team.
that's telling.
It was his first year the defense was the strongest unit on the team, and it's Jack Plummer. We get it. Wasn't the best passer. Okay. Last year, defense was horrible. Offense was amazing. This year, offense is inconsistent at best. Uh, but defense is consistent. Is the best unit on the team. And for an offensive genius that has to just like gnaw at Jeff and coaching staff quite a bit, uh, because you expect to score points, you expect to put up points, and Louisville has scored points, but they're so sloppy doing it, and they shoot themselves in the foot so much they leave so many openings to lose, to beat themselves. Like Louisville wasn't beaten by Virginia. Louisville
Yeah.
beat themselves in that game,
Yes. Yes, absolutely. By
and
far.
and it's just annoying. So like,
Instead of
five,
winning that game 24-10, Louisville lost that game in overtime 30 to 27.
yes, and it is just so like it's so annoying because you look at the offensive line. Now, granted, I know 2 of Louisville's starters transferred in offseason. Austin Collins went to Syracuse, and I think Max, he's actually plays for Virginia, but he's hurt. So you
Yeah.
lose 2 stars offensive
Monroe
line,
Mills.
and
Hmm.
yeah, and you replaced them with guys who apparently looks like they weren't ready for prime time. Because Louisville offensive line, they're okay at pass blocking, but they can't run block with a damn, like at all. They get like zero push and create zero openings. Now it doesn't help that our running backs have been hurt for like 2 weeks straight now. But there's like even before they got hurt, there was very few rushing lanes that they had opened up. They're not a very good run blocking team. And then to kind of piggyback what you're saying about the coaching staff hasn't adjusted their play calling for what the offense can do.
Yes.
They haven't
Yes.
adjusted their play. Like Miller Moss is hot and cold. When he's on, he's on. But when he's off, he's off.
Hmm.
And they've kind of adjusted for against Virginia with a bunch of short control passing. Chris Bell was pretty much the only guy that it seemed like they threw to the entire first half. But he was always open, always making plays, and they dink and dunked their way down the field. They tried to run the ball. They couldn't run at all, but they kept attempting to run the ball. They tried to use Colin Lacey's or in the backfield a couple of times for him to run the ball, just like they did against Pitt. They kind of generate any type of running game and fits and starts, but they were still moving the ball. They're still scoring points, which makes me wonder, like in the second half, why'd you stop throwing to Chris Bell?
Third quarter was awful. Third
It's like,
quarter was awful.
it's
I
like,
don't know.
it's like, why did you stop?
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Why'd you stop throwing to Chris Bell? And what was it trying to force feed the running game when it wasn't working? It
Yeah.
just it made no sense. So why'd you try longer, deeper developing pass plays when you know that's not what Miller Moss does well in this offense? And two, your offensive line can't block that long.
Yeah.
I mean, they just can't. What are you like? What are you doing? No, it seems like Jeff has this thing where he wants this wide open, dynamic offense where they're slinging it down the field. But this just isn't the team that can do that.
And when you know that the short passing game is working and you're pretty much killing this team on either, short pattern with Chris
Why
Bell,
stop?
short pattern with Colin Lacey, short pattern with Jaleel Skinner, short pattern with Nate Kariski, you're killing them in
Why
5 to
stop?
10 yard pass plays. Why stop?
Why stop? Why stop? Because I think Miller Moss is a good quarterback, but I understand why Lincoln Riley benched him. I totally get it because, like I said, when he's on, he's on, but when he's off, he's horrible. And I can see where a head coach may want somebody who's just more consistent as a passer. Like I don't want to get game in and game out. Not I know he's going to throw an interception, but when's he going to throw this interception? So I know it's coming because he's done it every game except for
Yeah.
one. So when's it coming?
So I'm
And
gonna say this.
how many interceptions is he going to throw this game? Because you know it's coming. You just don't know when, and you just don't know how many. But you know it's coming.
Yeah.
So
And look, I'm gonna say this about it because I think that Louisville's in a very difficult spot because they're kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't because they have no choice but to rely on Miller Moss
you
because
paid him too
be-
much. You don't have a
because
choice but to play him.
well, and just the simple fact that Louisville can't run the football right now. So you've got what Haven Harrington. I've said since before the first game of the season that Louisville's salvation was going to be in the quick, short passing game. I thought that they had the weapons to be able to exploit it, and I thought they had the quarterback that could take advantage of it. And when Louisville has stuck to just the short, quick passing game, we've seen Louisville's offense go up and down the field. When Louisville has gotten into trouble is A, when they're trying to force feed the run, and B, when Brom gets greedy and starts wanting to get all these long developing downfield passing situations. Because what happens is when you get to wanting to go to these deep outs, these deep overs, these double move plays, and these things that go deep down the field, the offensive line can't hold up. And that's where once again the coaching staff is being hard headed. If they went to more of a run and shoot, pure West Coast offense style of short passing game where you're just playing levels and just taking what the defense gives you, I don't think there's many teams out there that could stop Louisville's offense. But Louisville over and over and over again has opted to try to do way too much when the offensive line has shown you that they can't hold up. Unfortunately for me, the biggest problem with this Louisville team is not Miller Moss. The biggest problem with this Louisville team from a personnel standpoint is the offensive line. Louisville did it, this is the other side of the transfer portal era is that when you get it wrong,
It's hard. It's
there's
horrible.
nothing you can do. Like,
No,
unfortunately, sadly, there's just nothing you can do when you get it wrong. And unfortunately, in this cycle, Louisville got it wrong with the guys that they brought in for the offensive line. And
and it shows.
I don't know what changed from the Pittsburgh game to the Virginia game because the pass blocking was much better versus Pittsburgh than it was against UVA. Haven, I was in the building for the game last Saturday against UVA, and I just want to tell you, our line and especially our tackles, Rasheed Miller got beat by those Virginia defensive ends snap after snap after, but it wasn't just Rasheed Miller. It was everybody.
He got
How the
ate
only
up.
like Pete Nigra was the only guy who was solid. Like they weren't UVA wasn't getting any pressure off the middle, but both tackles were getting destroyed consistently. And I don't know. And part of that, like I said, a part of that was because in the second half, it felt like okay, look, we did a great job moving the ball with the short passing game in the first half. Now we're going to act like we're going to go to the short passing game, but now we're going to go deep. And as soon as we made the decision to start asking that offensive line to do more to hold up under that Virginia, and Virginia was only rushing four. They were only
Yeah,
rushing four, maybe five. And they were getting home time after time. And Miller Moss has shown you, Haven, like you said,
he gets happy
if
feet.
it's under duress,
He gets
dude,
happy feet.
dude's gonna throw like Roman says one of them things or two of them things. Dude threw at least five passes that could have been intercepted against Virginia. At
You
least
saw it
five
against
passes.
you saw it against JMU. He did the same thing. Like he
Yes,
threw a pick six. The dude just dropped it.
yes, absolutely. And this is why once again. That's why I put this at the sit this at the feet of Jeff Brom and the offensive coaching staff. Is because the offensive line has shown you who they are. This quarterback has shown you where he excels and who he is. But instead of sticking to what this team does well, they keep trying to act as if you're going to get a different results when you try to do the exact same thing. And that's why my disappointment with this offensive staff, man, is just
It's like
for
this
a
is
bunch of
not.
smart guys, they're doing a bunch of dumb shit. Does
It's like
that make
this.
sense?
Perfect. So like this is not Tyler Shuck and Lash's offensive line. They
Yes.
can't drop back, wait 4 or 5 seconds for somebody to get deep and sling it. It's just not going to happen.
But the sad thing is, Haven, the
It's
personnel
just
that
not
they
going to
have
happen.
is perfect for what they can do well. They just don't. Louisville just doesn't want to stick to it.
No, and like so here's my thing. Like even if you wanted to force feed the run game, okay, I'm with that. So if you want to force feed the run game, fine. But if that's the case, then at least put 7 offensive linemen out there and 2 tight
Yes,
ends.
put
Like
put put a fullback in there.
yeah,
A tight,
because
big tight end. Yeah.
if that would get a push, then just try to get hat on the hat and see if we get any type of separation. Because Isaac Brown will find the crease when he's
Yes.
healthy. A
Yes.
healthy Isaac Brown will find the crease and do damage, but you got to give him the crease. Like all those big touchdowns he made against EKU, it was actually EKU played great on that long run he had on that 30-yard touchdown run.
Yes.
He just found a crease, made a guy miss the hole and was going. Same thing as JMU. JMU blocked it well. He bounced it out, found a crease, and was going. It's outran everybody.
And you know
You
what,
know,
Haven? With that short passing game, Louisville was not breaking off big runs in that first half, but they were able to run the ball. We saw Isaac with some nice runs. We saw Duke with some nice runs. Even Kiwan got in there in
yeah.
the second half and had a couple nice runs once Louisville got back to that short, quick passing game.
But and that's going to happen. I know in his heart of hearts, Brom hates that dink and dunk offense. He hates that dink and dunk offense. But that's what you have to do. I mean, this is what it is. That's what you have to do. The offensive line will not let you do more than dink and dunk. So just dink and dunk.
Yes.
It is what it is. Stop trying to do so much. And then you need to really work on in practice getting these penalties under control. Good God Almighty, man. You gotta. You gotta get. I mean, it's like it's 5 games in the season. You should not be this sloppy. You still should be having unsportsmanlike penalties. You still should be having all holding calls and every. No,
Now they were better in this game. I'm looking at the stats. They were 5 penalties for 60 yards, so they weren't nearly as bad as they have been in this game. But I agree with you. Like that, they cleaned up a lot of that. That's why I said like Louisville Haven in terms of the game. Louisville did everything that they needed to do to win that game outside of bonehead decision making by the coaching staff. And,
it
and,
was.
and it just it's the most frustrating thing in the world because now we're in a situation where everybody is seeing the everybody says doing the eulogy for the season like the team is just already dead. I'm not ready to go that far,
Well,
but
it's not the eulogy for the team just yet. The problem is we have obvious flaws, and we still haven't corrected for those obvious flaws we have. And against a team like Miami that has like an awesome front four, that Bain is just gonna wreck shop. I mean, let's be honest. Bain might as well just park in our backfield because you know what's going to happen.
I mean
Unless,
this is once again another game where you better just let Miller grip it, rip it, get rid of it quickly.
I
Like you
mean,
can't
literally
you
two
can't wait
seconds,
for
2 seconds, the ball has to be gone.
yes.
Literally,
Yes.
2 seconds, the ball has to be gone because Bain's going to kill our tackles.
But
Because
I'm gonna tell you what though, Haven, there's opportunity there.
no,
There is
here's
opportunity there.
we have enough talent to beat anybody on our schedule, and that's
Yeah.
what's so frustrating about this team. You have the talent to beat everybody, but you and I know that we'll at least turn the ball over twice against Miami.
I mean,
And
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 that's what you can't do.
and hopefully, if it's a turnover, it's not a pick six, or because we gave UVA at least 14 points, just gave them 14 points.
Yeah.
So if we could stop with the pick sixes and fumbles for touchdowns, and maybe just a regular turnover where they get the ball right there, and we stop them and give our defense a chance to maybe stop them or hold them to a field goal or something, we may have a chance. But it was like against UVA. I thought we would play well enough to win. I just thought that we would make too many mistakes, and that would cost us the game. And it did. And I think the same thing against Miami. I think we'll play well enough to be competitive. I just think we'll just have too many mistakes.
I mean, to me, this is all about. I have seen everything that I need to have a good idea of this Louisville team's capabilities. I have a good idea of what they do well, what they don't do well. The toughest thing for me, Haven, is that I've gotten to a point to now. I don't know if I can trust my coaching staff to know what this team does well and take advantage of it. And that's a very weird place to be, especially when I'm talking about a Jeff Brom coach team,
You
because
would
I
think.
do. Like to me, instead of understanding who you are, because what did coach the old coach adage is, I got to coach my team that's on the field. I can't coach through what I think it should be. I got to coach these guys to who they are,
Which
and
is so weird because we've seen Jeff make that adjustment, right?
yeah,
Like this is by far his sloppiest team.
yeah,
This is by far his most turnover happy team. Because his first team with Jack Plummer, I mean, Jack was not the best quarterback.
yeah,
His deep ball he had nice deep ball, but that short intermediate passing game just wasn't there. He was always late. So what we do, we ran the ball all the time. We became a run first team. We became a team that the first couple of games of the season, you could tell that Brown wanted to throw it like 70% of the time. But 3 games in, we were running 70% of the time because that's what you had to do to win.
yeah,
And we went 10-2, right?
yeah.
Last year, defense wasn't up there, but you know what? We'll score a ton of points. We'll have a balanced attack. We're running the ball. Offense, we'll throw it deep, throw it short, we'll do everything. And we did that.
Yeah.
And the first 2 teams, not a lot of penalties, not a lot of turnovers, pretty clean ball. And, various times of the season, Louisville played at least a couple of complete games by now.
The parallels between this year and year one are
Yeah.
unbelievable.
But the difference is this year, the team is a lot more sloppy with penalties.
They're
with
definitely less
yeah,
disciplined.
with turnovers, just a very undisciplined team,
I mean,
and
Jack
they
Plummer, but hey, let's not get it twisted. Jack Plummer was a turnover machine in year one.
well, that's why he took the ball out of his hands and then run the ball.
I
So
mean,
he, he
dude was fumbling. I mean, even when they tried to take it out of his hands, like bro was good for at least one fumble and an interception almost every other game.
and
Like I
and
can't.
Miller and
But the
Miller's falling in his in his footsteps.
yeah,
But the difference between that first year's team and this year's team, 5 games in, we saw them play at least a complete game,
yeah,
where offense and defense both did their thing. This Louisville team still hasn't played a full game, a
yeah.
complete
That
game.
Boston College game was the first game that in year one. That was the one game where Miller had it going. They were able to
The
block
plumber.
efficiently. Uh, I mean, excuse me, Plummer had it going. They were able to block efficiently. Defense was on, and Louisville just ran kind of Boston College out of the game. Yeah, we haven't had that Boston College game yet this year. Like there's
No,
been huge deficiencies outside of the first game against EKU, which doesn't necessarily count. Every other game has just been. I mean, and even that game you had a pick six, and another turnover. So
yes, Milwaukee threw 2 interceptions that game against EKU.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, Louisville definitely has not had that perfect game yet. You're right. I mean,
It's not even a perfect game. It's just you haven't played a full game of clean football on
this.
both halves. On both halves.
It's funny because this Louisville team is a pass first team, and the only way that they can be successful as a team offensively is being pass first. But they need to be a pass first team where it's slow and steady. And I think Jeff that's not Jeff's attitude, his mentality. That's not his soul to be consistent, be a very attentive and conservative. Like the conservative passing game is what this team needs to be able to control it. Controlled passing, short passing, running in the proper situations, and just really controlling the flow of the game. Like most people that talk about ball control offense, you talk about running the ball and ball control, but this is a team that needs to be a ball control offense while passing the ball. And it goes against everything that's in Jeff Brom's nature. And I think maybe that's why he's struggling so bad because this is when Jeff thinks, okay, I have a quarterback, I'm going to pass the ball. He thinks go deep, throw the bomb, let's get a big chunk play. You know what I mean? This team just can't do that.
This is not a big chunk play team,
Yes.
and it's killing. Like last year, even this first year, it was a big chunk play from the quarterback position. It really wasn't a big chunk play team, but our running game got those big chunk plays that I think that satisfied his soul.
Yeah.
Last year we did it both. Last year we could have chunk plays in a running game and we can hit you deep. It
Yeah.
satisfied his soul. This
Yes.
year's team, it's not happening. I
Yes.
mean,
No.
it's not. This year's team had to be a slow, methodical, boring ass Joe Flacco s Ravens team, Trent
Yes.
Dilfer Ravens team. When you're just dinking and dunking the ball down the field, everything is a 5 yard hitch, and
And he hates it. He hates it. He hates it.
7 yards up the seam, and longest pass play you may get maybe 10 to 15 yards, and bro, that's it. That's all we got. And
Yeah.
he hates it, but that's what you have to do. And it's mainly because I don't think Miller Moss can't do it. But as we've seen, as we said before, one, you get any type of pressure on Miller Moss,
Yeah.
any type of pressure, that
He
dude gets
makes
happy
terrible
feet.
decisions. Yeah, I
And
mean
and
that's the whole thing. When Miller has a pocket and he can set his feet and he throws it, dude is can throw it as good as Shuck. He can
he's
sling it as
money.
good as Shuck. It was like I was listening to Mark Ennis, our main event sports alumni, and he said it in the post game after the game on Saturday night or Saturday evening. He said that Miller Moss is just about the best of Tyler Shuck and the worst of Jack Plummer in one person. And I thought that was the best way to put it because Moss, when he can have a clean pocket and get his feet set, can throw any pass and put that bitch on the money. Like very accurate, very can layer it, can go short, can go end of it, can go intermediate, can even get you 25 or 30 yards down the field if he has time. But where he the worst is when the same way Plummer was flustered and would just do anything when he got pressure in his face, Miller is exactly the same way. And I just thought that was a good way to put it. So he's literally the best of Shuck and the worst of Plummer in one package.
I'll be interested to see what Louisville does next year, as far as are they going to grab a quarterback in a portal? Uh, like what does that look like? Because you have two guys who you recruited that's been there for a couple of years now with Deuce Adams and Brady Hoke. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to get a shot, a chance, or we're going to get somebody else. Are we going to go hard in the portal for offensive line to kind of balance that up? It'd just be interesting to see like what this off season looks for Louisville, especially once we see the type of turnover we have. So I'm kind of curious to see
Well, and
what.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, Haven, that I think that Jeff is gonna have to do, um, and that's this: the unfortunate truth about the first 3 years of Jeff Brom's tenure. And I know that, hey, Louisville still has everything in front of them. If they can find a way to go down there and beat Miami, they are right back in the ACC championship title race, and they're probably in the driver's seat to make the championship game if they can find a way to win that game. But as it stands right now, the way it looks right now, more than likely they're not gonna they're gonna more than likely lose this game at Miami in 2 weeks, and they'll probably stub their toes somewhere else down the line, more than likely. But I think the one thing that we're gonna have to do, regardless of it, even if honestly it doesn't matter, regardless of how this season goes, I think one thing that Jeff is going to have to do in terms of this, what the way he puts his team together, he had an opportunity, Haven, and I said this on Saturday. Or actually, I said it to Roman earlier in the week. Jeff Brom, after years 1 and 2, where he had Jack Plum, he got Jack Plummer a job in the NFL. Okay, he made Tyler Shuck a second round pick. With the success that Jeff Brom had with his first two transfer quarterbacks, Duke could have had just about any quarterback out of the portal he wanted, as long as the numbers were right. Jeff Brom opted to take Miller Moss, who was a guy who was more of a quote unquote bargain ad. He was a guy that wasn't going to cost as much. And he was a guy who still fit in the mold of what Brom likes, which is a guy who kind of just stands in the pocket, really doesn't use his legs, and is more of just a pure pocket passer. With the inconsistencies of the offensive line, he's going to have to be able, if he does decide to go get another quarterback, you've got to have somebody who's more dynamic with his feet, because the first, year 1 and year 3 are going to pretty much, the reason why this team did not get to the heights that they were able to get to was because of the decision of the guy that they decided to bring in at quarterback. I mean, let's not get it twisted. Even with what Moss can do, if he at least was had some dynamic ability with his feet, it could mitigate some of these issues, and Louisville could open up that playbook to
I, I mean,
maybe help with that.
I mean,
But he's going to have to do some different things at the quarterback position.
technically, like the guys on the roster right now, Deuce Adams. I mean, like Deuce is our quote unquote
Yeah.
athletic quarterback. So the
I
dude is
mean, but is
here.
he is he ready to play though? I mean, that's what I'm
You
saying.
know,
Like,
but that's
to
the
me,
thing.
I look at a guy like Julian Mensa. A guy like Julian Mensa, you could have had him. In my personal opinion, if the dude's playing quarterback at Duke, Julian Mensa, you can't tell me he would not rather have come to the University of Louisville to play.
Oh, you know it.
You know
But
what I mean?
yeah, the thing is, like in this day and age of NIL, transfer portals, and everything else, guys you recruit, unless they're super phenoms to get on campus, it's going to be hard for quarterbacks to last more than 1 or 2 years in any school
Yeah,
because the temptation is always too great to go get a proven or what you think is a proven commodity someplace else
yeah,
and snatch them up and put them on your squad. So like we
yeah.
got another 4-star wide quarterback coming in who's killing it in the high school level, set up all sorts of records. You got two guys that are really highly touted already here, and Brady Hoke and Deuce Adams are already here, and they were
Brady
highly
Allen.
touted. Huh?
Brady Allen. He said Brady Hoke.
Yeah, Brady Allen,
That's funny.
excuse me.
That's
You
okay.
know, so you have guys here, but it's gonna be hard for them to ever even touch the field outside of cleanup duty when it's so tempting to go in a portal and be like, man, I saw this quarterback at pick a school. I saw this quarterback coming from South Florida, do his dynamite. He come here, yeah, let's do it, and
Right.
it's going to be hard. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be interesting to see the direction that Louisville takes. Because last year, Louisville really didn't go hard recruiting in high school. They went more so in the portal. So if you look at some high school guys that may have redshirted, come up through the ranks, they're not here now, or they weren't as talented as kind of like just kind of fillers almost. This year's class, they've gone more heavy into high school football recruiting.
Especially on the lines.
Yeah, and gotten higher rated
Shout out to the
kids.
big dog. Shout out to the big dog, Vince
Yeah,
Morrow.
but the thing is, once again, when you get freshman offensive linemen in here, even sometimes freshman defensive linemen, you don't expect them to be who they are for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're stuck trying to backfill the portal. So it's just gonna be interesting to see how Louisville builds this class and what next year Cardinal team looks like based off this year's. Because
Well, I,
you know,
I thought that Louisville did a great. They did a much better job of identifying guys as far as the defensive players that they have. They have a nice mix of guys that have been around, like Selah Brown, and then they went and identified the right guys on the defensive side. But like I said, it's just that's the world that we live in with the portal. You just got to be right. But I think that the fact that they definitely made it a point to go hard after some very talented offensive line prospects in the portal. And I think that's going to be where the sweet spot's going to be. I think that you have got to recruit heavy high school for your offensive and defensive lines, and then backfill with some talented plug and play guys on the lines as well to make sure you have what you need at those positions. But I think Haven, honestly, the skill positions you gotta get. You just have, to me, you got to get most of your skill position guys through the portal. Like
but
you may
yeah.
get find one or two or three guys that you like in the portal I mean, in high school recruiting as far as skill positions. But to me, in today's day and age, you pretty much get all your skill guys out of the portal.
So to me, the thing is for this Louisville team and this year, and for Brahma in particular,
Yeah,
is what's next because this season, there's still so much to play for. You only got one loss. It's nowhere near doom and gloom,
yeah.
comma. But we've seen how you played for 5 straight games, and I don't expect that to change too much between now and the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? You kind of are who you are at this point.
I mean, I
So
don't know though. I don't know because see the thing is that like I said, I think the biggest problem is between the ears of the guy who's considered the head coach of the team.
But like I said,
And
it's like those certain things you can fix. But my thing is, like I thought last year's team should have been his breakout team because you had all the talent on defense, you had just super gobs of talent offense,
yeah,
and the schedule set up. We had some marquee games where you really could have shown your stuff, and your defense failed you last year,
yeah.
completely failed. This year's team coming into the season, I didn't think that I thought we would score points. I thought the offense would be potent, but I didn't think the offense was going to be as good as last year's offense. But with the way the schedule kind of was shaking up, if you had a decent defense with an offense that was 3/4 of what you had last year, which I kind of thought we would have, man, it was like
The opportunity was there, but
opportunity was
unfortunately
there.
the switching to the head switching to the green dots, the communication issues, unfortunately, Ron English with the scheme that he just tried to employ, it just was not
Yeah.
there. It was
So
just a season that was
yeah.
lost because of the
So
defense.
so so my thing is Brom is going to have to put together something
Yeah,
soon.
yeah,
He's
because
not going to put.
honestly, like you said, Haven, really and truthfully, when you look at it, last year and this year, both of these teams, last year to me, you was the perfect opportunity because you
Last year
definitely
should have been a
had the
playoff
talent.
team.
You had the
Last year
talent
should have been a
last year.
playoff team.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Last year should have
year,
been a playoff
the
team.
offensive line
Yes.
is just not good
No,
enough.
it's not good enough.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, last year's team should have been a playoff team, but the defense just wasn't up to snuff. This year's team, at the beginning of the season, I predicted them to go 9-3 because I thought Miami would be better with Beck. Honestly, I thought Clemson would be a little bit better, but they're trash. Uh, and I thought we would lose one weird game in there because Jeff's always losing some weird game someplace. Uh, so that's why I picked 9-3. 10-2 was like where we should be. But this year's team's just so I can see why U of L fans are just anxious and kind of just upset. It's because everything was laid out in front of you. Clemson was trash. The only good team want to be on the schedule is Miami, and everybody else is more than beatable, including the team we just lost to, Virginia. All the
Yeah.
teams in schedule are infinitely beatable. Like this was it. You have a halfway competent, and we do have a halfway competent offense. But if you could just get it together, man, it's like everything's in front of you. But now you guys are, a turnover machine. It's like, good God, stop giving the ball away. Stop getting penalties. It just annoys you to no end because you know what could be ahead for this team, what should be
Yeah.
ahead for this team, but you know in your heart of hearts, even you, Raashaan, the Will Smith of the West End, the most popular dude I know, even you in your heart of hearts know they're going to lose at least two more games because of dumb shit.
It sucks. It sucks. It
And
sucks,
you know
man,
it's
because
coming.
and it's so frustrating. Like
You
this is
know it's
2 years in a
coming.
row. Last year, Louisville lost because of the defensive coaching staff. This year, it's falling squarely on the offense, and it is the most frustrating. I have never like I turned and looked at the Virginia guys, and I just told him to his face, I was like, we should be kicking y'all's ass right now. And he couldn't even say nothing. He was just like, "Well, yeah, you're right," because he knew. He knew. Like I've never seen most of the time, especially when you're at home and you're there with the opposing fans' media. The opposing team's media. Usually, as the game ends, they're happy and they're putting all their stuff up and they're excited because they came into Louisville and got the win. These Virginia people weren't even happy because they've watched their team get their ass kicked up and down the field. Now they won the game, but they were like, "Yeah, we should have lost it." Like, it was almost kind of one of those things where they didn't even know how they won the game. It was kind of one of those things where it was more relief and let's just get up out of here than it was even being happy that they won because they knew they got dominated. And you
Yeah,
know how
and it's
frustrating that is.
it's
Like,
like, to me, it makes me like the only excusable loss left on the schedule is Miami.
yes,
That's literally the
yes,
only loss that I can be like, you know what? I don't expect us to win this game going in. Nobody expects to win this game. We're 13.5 point dogs in this game. I get that. All right, cool. Every other game we should probably win, even though we won't. But we should probably win. Either favorite or maybe just a 3 point dog in every game going forward, including the Clemson game. But it's just so frustrating because that's a 10-2 season. And that'll be, except for lost Virginia, almost be enough to either get you a great bowl game, get you talked about nationally and everything else. But instead, we're the only 5-1 team that nobody mentions on Sports Center or any of the college football shows. Like nobody's talked about us all year. And
isn't
as
it
you
frustrating because it's like Jeff Brom, and even this is now his rep nationally. Like he's not even I don't want to say he's not taken seriously because everybody always mentions him as one of the really good coaches in the ACC. But Jeff Brom now has this reputation of, yeah, Jeff is a great offensive mind, but he's gonna find a way to mess it up. You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah,
kind of his reputation nationally, and it's so frustrating because then it happens, and it's like, dang, he
you know
he
what,
kind of
it's
is that dude.
you know what. Hopefully Jeff is like Dabo Sweeney. Because when Dabo first got to Clemson, Clemsoning was still a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they finally got over Clemsoning.
Yes. Great
Hopefully, Jeff,
analogy. Great analogy. Yes.
hopefully Jeff can get over his Jeffness. Stop losing to the worst team in ACC every year. Which thank God we don't play the worst team in ACC this year, so maybe we'll get over it.
I don't know. We do play Clemson.
You know, you know what? Honestly, I think we'll probably lose the Clemson game at home,
Oh God,
and
please.
it's not going to be because Clemson outplayed us.
I could see the Clemson games going just like the Virginia game.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
yeah,
could see that happening.
yeah. To me, Miami should be the only team that just literally just beats us, and we know
Louisville
it.
should win every other game on the schedule besides Miami.
Yeah,
If I'm being honest, they
and
should.
and I don't think that our offensive line can hold up to their front four at all.
Yeah,
Like they're the best defensive line in ACC, and yeah, and our offensive line is trash, and that's not a very good combination.
it's tough. It's tough. But hey, I do want to say this, man. Big shout out to the defense. They came out to play. Ron English did everything he could to keep Louisville in that game and put them in a position to be tied 14-14 at the half. I thought that he was, had the team locked in. They identified what Virginia was. They identified what they needed to do to keep those guys in check. So just big shout out to the defense. Everybody played well, man, from
I mean,
Tayon
Ron has been
Holloway.
the defense won the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, they
Literally,
did.
the defense won the Pittsburgh game. They got us a touchdown. They got 5 turnovers, so it was able to stop Pittsburgh from driving. They kept giving us back the ball. That was all the defense.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So I mean, just shout out to them. Like I know Louisville has a good defense. Like I'm not worried about that. I don't give a damn who we play. Miami's not going to go up and down the field on Louisville. SMU's not going to go up and down the field on Louisville. Clemson's not going to go up and down the field on Louisville. I think that Louisville's going to have something defensively for everybody. The biggest question is going to be, can the offense hold on to the football and make smart decisions like that? And can guys keep from getting dumb personal foul penalties? Like that's going to be the question. But I think that especially after the game, Haven, after back-to-back performances versus Pittsburgh on the road and versus UVA at home, I think at this point I'm safe to say that I can trust the defense. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I was able to trust the defense after the second game of the season. I was cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, after watching them against JMU, I was like, "Oh, we good. We
yeah,
got this." To me, at that point, it was just about, can we clean up some of this sloppiness on offense? Can we stop turning the ball over? And then if we could do that, I thought would be good. But we're 5 games in, and every game this season, the offense has turned the ball over. Like every game. I think every game, I think we've had multiple turnovers in every game except for two.
yeah. I think because against JMU, I did we have a turnover against JMU?
We had to with Louisville. No, we didn't. No. You know what? No, I
I'm
don't
trying to
think
think.
we.
I don't
No,
think
we
we had a
tried to
turnover.
turn the ball over.
Yes, yes. I had the pick six that should have been,
Yes, we tried to turn
but
the ball over.
I'm pretty sure that was the only time that we put the ball in harm's way. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. Pretty sure. Think. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be the thing. But hey, you know what? I like I said, I'm not like some people are saying that the season's over with. I have full belief that Louisville, if they put the proper game plan together with the playmakers they have and with the defense they have, they can go down there and beat Miami next week. Like that wouldn't even surprise me. Like,
it
is
was
it
like I
likely?
said, it wouldn't surprise
No.
me either, right? Because we have the tools to beat every team on the schedule. The
Yeah.
the tools are there. It's literally, can we stop? Can we just get out of our own way?
Yes. Yeah. Like, and I just feel like there's gonna be something dumb that happens, and this season is destined to be another very frustrating, annoying season. Like I can see that Miami game this year looking like what Notre Dame was last year. You
We
know what I mean?
battle, we're doing good, and then for some reason, a interception. We're like, fuck,
Yeah,
you
right.
had him. What are you doing?
Isaac Brown fumbles a ball or
He did it
something, you
against
know.
Miami last year. We was battling against
Yeah.
Miami, from the ball in the end zone.
Like it feels like that's the way that's going to go. But I have hope. Like I'm not punting on the season. Louisville still has everything in front of them. They only have the one loss. Like I said, if they can find a way to get that win, and we know that Miami is known for the October dumb loss game. Like that's been Miami for the last 20 years. Is they have the dumb October loss game. They have not had it yet, and it's coming at the perfect time for them to have the dumb Miami loss game. So hopefully,
But man, they
especially with
look good this year, though.
that, hey, that's fair. But you know what? With Louisville losing to Virginia, let's just hope that now they're like not taking us seriously, and they're like, these guys just lost at home to UVA. We don't have to worry about because this is the bounce back where things like that can happen. Hayden. Like it just is. Like the football is a very weird, funny, funky sport. And I want to say last year, I know that they ended up losing the game to Virginia Tech off of that, what should have been a touchdown catch in the end zone. But I think Virginia Tech had just come off like a bad loss the
They
week
did.
prior. And they went into that and should have won the game, and the refs kind of stole it from them at the end. So, like, never say never. Like, it could definitely happen, and I'm excited to see what's to happen. Y'all, I'm not one to punt on the season. Like to me, every football season is its own story, and I'm gonna watch that story all the way to the end, and just kind of watch it. But I love a lot of the playmakers. I think there's a lot of guys that are gonna be get paid to play this game, uh, you know, down the road, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. I do love football. Yes, am I a basketball guy? Absolutely, but I love football. So
So
I'm not
before you go
punting
any
on it.
further, and we start talking about that boy's good player of the game,
Yes.
I just want to say I watched a video on YouTube today that you would. I want to send it to you because like you'll love it.
Okay.
And it's talking about why the NBA is no longer as good as it used to be,
Oh
and it's
goodness.
from perspective like all the former players like Bird,
Okay. Okay.
Magic, Charles, Shaq, even LeBron gets in there was like, yeah, we suck.
Oh yes, I need to see that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even LeBron is like, yeah, this generation's kind of soft.
You know what? I'm glad somebody finally realized it. Oh, that's hilarious. Yes, I need that. Please do. But Haven, you said it. I you could definitely say that the defense was the driving force behind where they were, but we cannot ignore what that man numbers Agent Zero did in that game. This week's That Boy's Good Player of the Week is without a doubt one Mr. Chris Bell.
You know what? I have been on Chris Bell for 2 seasons now about being super inconsistent. You know what? This year, he's that man. He's finally living up to his potential of what we always thought he could be. So he deserves it because he was the offense in the first half. Should have been offense in the second half, but for some reason, the third quarter, Jeff decided I'm gonna do something different and stop going to the guy with the hot hand who has 10 receptions already at halftime. I'm not gonna throw it to him again. We're gonna find somebody else. And
Unreal.
whatever Jeff was thinking about, whatever. Chris Brown, you're that boy's good player of the
Hey,
week.
12 catches, 170 yards, two touchdowns, and just an absolutely dominant performance coming off of a 10 catch, 135-yard performance with a touchdown against Pittsburgh.
He could
I
have had
mean,
like 15 catches if Jeff would have
oh,
kept throwing the
easy. He
ball in the
should have
third
had
quarter.
15. I thought he was going to have 20 catches in the game. I did. Like, he was like that catch that he made to make it a 3-point game, that catch at the front pylon when Miller threw that perfect back shoulder and he caught that one handed pass was one of the best catches I've ever seen. Like, the dude looked like an NFL first round draft pick. He
And
got in
Jeff was
his
like,
Devontae Parker bag.
we good in the third quarter. We'll find somebody else.
Ugh. Oh, like I just don't. It was oh, dude was unbelievable. But I mean, in the last two games, Chris Bell has over 300 yards receiving and three touchdowns in the last two games. That's unbelievable. Like unbelievable production. People say that he's considered the number two wide receiver in this draft. He looked all every bit of it. He's a dude that I feel that Louisville's going to continue to look for, and I don't think there's anybody that can guard him. I saw that somebody, one NFL draft analyst compared him to AJ Brown
Oh
as a
wow,
comparison. Yeah, so like he's starting to get that kind of hype from the draft, Nick.
he
So
deserves it.
hey, in the last two games, brother has made a push to get into that first round to be a day one selection in the NFL draft. So you know, hey, congratulations, Chris Bell. That boy's good. Player of the week brought to you by Wake Up 502. Congratulations, you're the second wide receiver to win the award this year, following up Colin Lacey's great performance in week two versus JMU, or excuse me, against Bowling Green in week three. But no, it was week two. What it was week two. It was week two that Colin Lacey won it
Yeah,
because it was the third game was Miller Moss, I believe, in week three. But congratulations to him, well deserved. And I just can't wait to see what he's going to do next. So like I said, he just speaks to the fact that Louisville has offensive playmakers. They have guys. Kyle Lacey had 10 catches himself in that game. I mean, he was outstanding as well. Excuse me, he had 9 catches. Colin had for the game. He was at excuse me, he had 5 catches in the game. So I mean, you had Lacey with 5 catches, Skinner with 4 catches, Kariski with 4 catches. Louisville has guys that can make plays,
you
Haven,
have
but
the talent. You just got to put the offensive scheme to get everybody the ball
yes, just feed the studs, spread the ball out,
and
and
then
get these guys the
minimize
ball in
the
space.
time Miller Moss has the ball.
Yes, get it
Like
out,
maximize
catch
everybody
it.
else's time, but minimize the quarterback's time.
Please, because he can do that and he can do it effectively. Like just stop getting greedy. Talk about the fact that Moss gets greedy when Jeff calls these deep pass plays. I think that's one of the issues. It's a bad combination because Jeff wants to throw the ball deep, but even on these deep pass patterns, they're usually dump off and release valve guys. But when we're calling these deep pass patterns, it feels like Miller holds the ball because he wants to force that ball downfield. And that's a bad combination to have a greedy coach and a greedy quarterback together. You know what I mean? Like you can't. Somebody's got to be the cooler heads prevail. Either Jeff needs to call shorter plays and keep Miller, you know, to thinking let's get it out short, let's get it out quick, or Miller has to at least be able to discern. Okay, the deep guy's not there. Let me get it out of here. Or throw it out of bounds. Did he throw one ball away in that game? I don't think he threw
I don't
one
think so.
pass away in the game. Like I don't know how that's even possible that you win a whole game and you did not get rid of one pass out of
Talent.
bounds. Like that's unbelievable. All right, Haven. So look, before we get out of here, we know that we're on a bye week. There is no game this weekend, so there's not really anything to break down. We'll get into Miami next week. When it's actually time for that game. Now, I know the game's on Friday, so we won't have a wake up 502 prior to the Miami game. So we may do a special edition of Wake Up
Hey,
502 after dark just to do a
yeah.
pregame. So I think that's gonna be the move for that. But so what do you it's tough to say. Like, if you're looking for Louisville football in this bye week, what are you focused on? Like, what
I
what, what are you
mean,
trying to do?
get the running backs healthy.
I was thinking the same. That is why
I mean,
we are brothers from another mother because that's exactly what I was
I
gonna
mean, it's
say.
all I could think. I mean, just look, get your boys healthy. Try to run some two tight end, maybe even some three tight end sets. If you're gonna run the ball, then run the ball. I don't care if you got to telegraph you're gonna run. Fine. You got the guys that are so good. I believe you could telegraph you're gonna run the ball and still get yards. So if you're gonna run it, you know what? Give us three tight ends. Give us 7, 8 offensive linemen. Whatever. Practice those sets.
Yeah,
And then it's dink and dunk down the field.
yeah. Hey,
That we
but you
know you
know
can
what?
do.
This with the bye week upcoming, this is where the Jeff Brom special comes in. A big time game, a top 5 team. Jeff has a bye week to prepare to get a game plan together. This is where, while we can talk about the deficiencies that he has as a coach, one of his greatest, if probably his greatest ability, is preparing for the big game and getting his team ready to play. He's done it every year he's been at Louisville. He did it pretty much every year he was at Purdue. He has one of those games every year. And he had a great game plan for Miami. Nobody thought that Louisville could win that Miami game 2 years ago in Coral Gables. And Louisville went down there, put together an amazing game plan. Nate Kariski has two big touchdown passes, and
No,
they
it's like him
cashed
and
it.
Scott Satterfield are good for one big win.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
I
Scott had
mean,
his last week against Iowa State.
hey, shout out. Like I don't know why do people. I know this is completely off subject, but why do Louisville fans hate Scott Satterfield? Like,
Because,
I don't have any problem with Coach Sat. Like, I done never had any ill will. Like, so many people say, I hope he loses. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand the hate for Scott Satterfield.
I don't know. I mean, Ned Flanders was who he was.
Right.
Ned is who Ned is.
He left Louisville in better position than it was when he got there,
He
man.
did. You
Like,
know what? I'm going to tell you what it was. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. It was Petrino PTSD. That's why Louisville fans hate Scott Satterfield. Once Scott Satterfield flirted with South Carolina, who
yeah,
Louisville fans think is an adjacent program, it's not a step up or step down, kind of like
yeah.
same level program. If you don't take your country bumpkin ass from here to Columbia, South Carolina, then no, Louisville fans at that point,
Gosh. Yeah,
people
you're
were
right.
okay. People were okay with Scott Satterfield, but he started flirting with South Carolina. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then a press conference came and told you I would only leave for another Carolina school.
Yeah,
Because he
yeah.
said that in a press conference.
Yeah, he did. You're
Louisville
right.
fans at that point was like, nah, we done. It's over.
Haven, yeah, you're probably right about that. And I
That killed it right there.
it
I mean,
did.
like all
It
the
did.
goodwill he had, all the love, people would have kept him around for 4 or 5 more years, and we would have won no more than 8 games, maybe an occasional 9 game season here or there, maybe. And no, once he got caught going to South Carolina, it'd be different. If it was like a big name school, like if he was going
Right.
to like Alabama or some shit. I don't know, something like that. We'd be like, all right, cool. Like
Yeah.
when Bobby finally left
Yeah,
for the
but you
NFL.
can't you think about talking about leaving Louisville to go to South Carolina is crazy.
I mean, no, it's like when Bobby went to go to NFL. We were like, you know what? That's NFL.
Yeah, it's the Falcons. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
get that. But South Carolina, what?
Hell, I think Sat would have left us for East Carolina. Honestly, real
He
talk.
would have. Coastal
Hey,
Carolina.
good for him, man. Like, hey, I'm gonna tell you what. Louisville fans can hate if they want to. Sat's got a better team in Cincinnati than we do at Louisville this year,
Oh, we do, but
definitely have a better quarterback. Sorsby is a beast.
he does have a better quarterback. But we all know how this season will turn out for Scott
I don't know.
Satterfield.
They might win the Big 12 this year. Hey, they might win the Big 12. We might see Sat in the playoff, dog. I know. I know. But hey, all I'm saying, they look pretty good, and I done seen the rest of Big 12. And you want to talk about suspect chin Negroes?
You know what? Scott Satterfield, Ned Flanders is who Ned Flanders is. He's not
Fair.
built for that life. And if,
That's
if he
fair.
does make it to the playoffs, he's going to get destroyed.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But hey, we'll see.
You
We'll
know,
see.
but big up to Carson Beck from Miami. We always thought he was a bum at Georgia, but you know what? A change of pace. He got he
I know
got.
you just loving it. Yeah, your shine for Miami. Oh
I'm
my
telling you, he could.
gosh,
But the thing is, like Carson Beck came to Miami, he got an immediate tan. He got
he did.
tattoos. He
Bro
got
was
himself.
not that tan when he was in Georgia. Dude
He
was like
is
extra
not.
pasty.
He was not. He
I
had
don't know
no
what
gold
happened.
chain.
Dude has like the Hulk Hogan tan now that he's the Miami quarterback.
He has He had no gold chains at Miami. I mean, at Georgia. He had no tattoos at
I mean,
Georgia.
dude's got the full arm sleeve. He's got the tattoo. He's got like the Miami starter kit
He
going
got a
on.
Latino girlfriend now. Come on now. And a Lambo. He has a Lamborghini.
Oh gosh,
That dude
like
has gone to Miami and just fully embraced being, being in South Florida.
that's fair.
He has
That's
turned into Gino Toretta.
that's so funny. It's, hey, you know what? He's living a life. Shout out. But hopefully that comes crashing down next Friday, Haven Hands. Hopefully Louisville got something from. But I agree with you. To me, let's just get healthy. Jeff needs to put together a game plan. Let's put together a bunch of stuff that Miami hasn't seen yet, and we'll just see what happens. I'm checking here on the messages. Robbie's checking in. He said, "Good evening, gentlemen." Um, he said that, but don't forget, Jeff can lose a game like Virginia, but can also turn around and beat Miami next week. I absolutely agree there. You know, and he says I'm rooting for UC. He says um, Matt done got jacked. Sat done got jacked. No, Satterfield is doing a good job. So like,
He is.
so
But
I give him
but you know
credit.
what? He needed to because Cincinnati fans are not happy.
Oh yeah, no. They like him again now though. That team looks good. They have a solid defense. They have a quarterback that can both run and pass. They got a couple of strong running backs. They got some nice little playmakers at wide receiver. Iowa State couldn't stop anything they wanted. Like they did anything they wanted to do. That was like that team was like the perfect Satterfield team. So I mean, I can't hate on it. Like dude, after his first couple of years, dude needed to do something right. So you know. Hey, I give him credit for it, man. Year three sad. It's better than year three Jeff right now. I mean, it is. Hey, it is what
Facts.
it is. So, it
Facts.
is what it is. It is what I know. Y'all might get mad at me for that. We got a bunch of people. We got a bunch of folks checking us out on Twitter, YouTube, X. I mean, I appreciate you guys checking it out, but hey, I'm just being honest.
Hey,
But we'll
why you guys checking us out? We need you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please do that. Please do that. Check us out, Main Event Sports on YouTube. Check us out. Follow us on Facebook. Follow Haven on Facebook. Main Event Sports Radio. You can check out Haven at ME Sports. You can check me out at Raashaan as well. Give us likes. Give us subscribes. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations once again, Chris Bell, this week's Wake Up 502 That Boy's Good Player of the Week. We won't have a show on this upcoming week, but we will definitely try to do a pregame get together. Don't know when that'll be, but we will get that. But this is Raashaan Myers for Haven Heritage saying thank you so much, and just don't forget, without struggle,
There is no progress.
peace. Have a good night, y'all.